Hey guys, people online have been asking me here lately if I do cleaning and pressing of my own books. Well, the answer is yes, and now I've sent some out to get cleaned and pressed by other people, but I've started to do it on my own, and they've asked me, well, how do you do it? So I figured I'd go ahead and knock out a quick little video just to show you what I do. Now, I'm not going to do the entire time lapse. I'll show you the end result at the end, but I'll just show you kind of what I'll do. Now I found an older book that's not that shall we say desirable to a lot of people, but the Micronauts #8, and it does have some not ticking but stress marks and a lot of discoloration to it. So I'm just going to try to clean the front just to show you what I do. Now right off, just a cotton ball. And take the cotton ball and I'll just go over the book. And some people ask me, well, why the heck are you using a cotton ball on a book? Well, you'd be surprised what just dirt is there that will come off just with a cotton ball, especially on the whites. And I don't know if you're hearing my desk rattle or not, but I kind of hope not. But I just go over and I try not to, go against where the edges of the pages are going to be. Now, I'm just going to show you just this little bit of time that I've spent, maybe a minute, if you can see. I don't know if you can or not. That's what I just got off of the book just by a light touch. And I didn't even do this over 2 minutes. So now, after I've got through that phase, I get myself a very soft eraser. The stiff erasers are a no-go. I wouldn't use it. I also have a very soft brush that people use for painting. Now what I do at this point is I just go over the white. And you do not use a lot of pressure, because if you do that, you're going to take a lot of the gloss that's on this book and you're just going to rub it away. And so you have to be very careful with how you do it. So I'm just going to go over a little bit of section, just had a little bit of a cotton ball blow into my face. Now, of course, use the brush, because you're wanting to get the eraser particles off that's picking up that dirt, because if you don't, when you press, you're just going to press it right back in, and it's not going to do you any good, now is it? Now, after you get, it's going to take you a little bit of time to knock it out. Now, I would not suggest to put this eraser on the colors, because if you do it any kind of pressure whatsoever, you're going to pull that color away and it's just going to mess up your book. So I suggest this on the white. Now, they do have those malleable erasers that you can get at craft stores and stuff like that. And it's almost like a silly putty. And if you use it on the colors very lightly, then I would suggest you can use that, and it'll be okay, because it's not going to take the color off. So now, let's see. We've got the top part of the book pretty much done, just quickly. Now, if I was really into the part where I was going to say, yeah, I'm going to try to send this off, I want to clean it, I want to get a good press on it, I would take a lot more time on it. And even now it's kind of irritating just a little bit. But, and that's how I'm doing that. And I'll show you the top to the bottom right now. You can see right here is where I stopped. You can see how it's much wider here, and you can see the dinge under the hand. And that's just with a little bit of time. If you're a whole lot more precise and you work at it for a good amount of time, then yeah, you can bring the white back out. And it is not too hard to do. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. So now, after I've let's just say we've done this entire book. We've got it cleaned up really nice. What I do is I like to put my books into a humidity bath, and I just spilled a little bit of water, but that's okay. I preset it, put a little bit of water inside this little container. Now if you look, got a little grate that the book is going to go on, and I've got little pieces of PVC, so it's going to sit on it. Now usually I will use a small piece of cheesecloth or very, very thin material. Now the water I use is distilled water. I'm going to use the distilled water because regular water is going to have those different minerals in it, and it can collect on your book and stain it, believe it or not. Now let's say I have that little piece of cloth down. I'm just doing this kind of spur of the moment. Seal it up, and then I'll leave it alone. You just let it sit. I can let mine sit for maybe a maximum of maybe 2.5 hours, 3 hours tops. And then it's going to get nice. It's going to get a lot of moisture up on that book. So when it presses, it's going to press a whole lot easier. That moisture is going to help that book get those ticks and get the creases out that you want to get out. Unless it's like really severe, but y'all know the story to that. So now, let's say we've waited those 3 hours. So now what I do, backing board, and I find the middle of the comic, where you see the staples in the comic, right here. Now I put it in there. Now if there's a spine roll, I try to pull it so the spine roll is going to be taken care of. Now luckily this one doesn't have a spine roll. Maybe I should have got one that showed a spine roll. And then I get a couple more pages. It's very heavy paper is what I use that doesn't have any of the chemicals to it. Again, chemicals can transfer to your book. That's how I've always thought about it, so that's what I just do. And I've got these bigger pieces for the fact that I want it to cover everything. And I put 1 page each inside the front and back of the cover. There you go. So now that is ready to go. And also, I will get 1 more page and I put it on the top. Some people say, don't do that, no heat transfer. Well, that's not how I do that. Now, you're just going to preset your press. You turn it on, and I'm going to set mine to my desired temp, which with the humidity we have out here right now, because we just had the tropical storm come through, I'm setting mine for about 165. Now it takes just a little bit for it to warm up, right? Most machines do. So while we wait for that, I mean, I could clean up that little bit of water that I just spilled. Could sing a song, but hold on, I'm going to clean up some water while that cleans. So now, let us say, and yes, pajama pants today, lazy Sunday before I go back to work. So now, this we'll say has heated up. Now something that I've done, a lot of people are going to use those pads that they keep on the press that comes with the press. I took that away. I found that I didn't get as good of a press with that cushioned little thing that comes with it, because it's just taking away the pressure from the press. So what I've done is I took those out. Now when you take them out, you're going to notice that there's screw holes here where the frame goes in. You can see it right there, and right back here there's 4 of them. They're just screws and they're sitting there. You put a book on top of that and you're just going to have a big indentation of a screw. So what I've done is I went and I just got a regular piece of tin, of sheet metal, and I've cut it out and I've curved it for the edges for my press. And if you look, fits in there perfect. Very flat, and I took some very thin sandpaper and I sand the top of it just to make sure that there was no imperfections on the sheet metal. Then when it becomes hot enough, and which it just did, it just clicked off, put it in there, make sure it's centered up, and of course we just close it down on the book. Now depending on how big the book is or whatnot, is how long it's, how tight you want it. Now, I leave it on for about a minute to minute and a half. Let the heat really get through the book. Now, there's not as much moisture on this book because, of course, we didn't put it in the humidity bath as long as I normally would have because we're just doing this fairly quick. So I would let this go. Since it doesn't have the moisture, I could go ahead and just turn it off. So we would turn it off, and I could let it sit there between 3-6 hours. There's been some times I've let stuff sit overnight just to see how well it would go. So far, I've had some pretty good success with my cleaning and pressing. I haven't really screwed anything up too much, but basically, in a nutshell, that's what I do. And I will show this book. I'll let it sit for maybe an hour, and then right at the end of the video, I'll just throw it up, let you see what it did. And maybe when I'm out on the truck, I'll take this book out on the truck and do a really good cleaning during the week, and then another really good little hydration bath. Hydration. Get some moisture in it and press it for a really good time and let you see what it looks like as a finished product when I do put time into it. But really, that's it. That's about all I do. Some people take little steaming guns like the fabric garment steamers, and they use that on the pages. I don't see, with me, I usually have good humidity in the area where I'm at, so I don't need to do that on every page, and it kind of worries me that if I put too much moisture on those pages and then put it in the press. I've seen some of the newer books, if you get your temperatures too hot, those pages actually stick together and you're not going to get them apart. So I do not do that. Some people do, some people don't, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do. So do not think, if that's your thing, hey, good on you. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. Got some more videos coming this week, so let's hope we can have some fun and take care of business out there with our comic books. Catch y'all later.